Yeah. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Let's go!
Hi, everybody.
We've had
G'day.
such an amazingly busy show today. We feel like no one's worked harder.
It's true. We
Because
caught
we
up
have
with
checked.
We have checked.
legendary Channel 7 journalist Geoff Parry, who is in the Ukraine at the moment.
Yes, we discussed why everybody was beeping their horn at you.
I really enjoyed them,
Bit
actually.
of Coode Street news there.
Perth Glory CEO Tony Pignata joins us too to tell us about how the Glory been going on the road.
Shaun was the cause of so much rage this morning.
Rage.
Within the
Angst.
team, in the building.
Conflict.
Oh,
So we talked to other people who have somebody annoying at work.
It's so bad.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
There is a lot of tension in the building this morning.
Yeah, it's so great when there's a bit of an argument happening and you're not part of it, but yet you're close enough to be able to just throw little barbs in
Yes, just-
to just fuel the fire.
Just throw more sticks on.
I agree.
We'd like to welcome to the show Ali. Hello, Ali.
Good
Morning, Ellie.
Hello.
Ali has a continual frustration with. I know it's strange with Shaun McManus.
Well, here's why. Have a listen to this.
Mazda BT50 is the complete package. And coming up soon with all your sport is Shaun McManus. Shaun McManus is coming up soon with all your sport news.
Thanks, Ellie. Fremantle
there he
and
is.
West Coast will lock horns on Sunday.
6
Which will be their
a.m.
final.
Now,
Look at that. Just
Shaun.
Yeah.
nailed it.
This is continually happening at 6.
Yeah.
And
but
at other times as well.
Firstly, let's hear from you. You tell Ali why it's happening.
Okay. I'll start with during other news breaks before I come back to that one. Sometimes me and the bin chicken are talking.
Sure.
Yes.
So then I'm late.
That's not
Yeah.
that's not an excuse. Keep going.
Yeah. But in the first news break for
For the first
morning-
news break, which happens quite regularly, we're having a meeting and sometimes the stereo gets turned down so I cannot hear what's going on in the news. So
Yeah.
normally
think
that's
of it
Claire's
as
fault.
yeah,
Oh, Shaun.
think of it as
And no,
we're at
honestly-
Hogwarts. That's Hogwarts in there, and we're creating magic for the people of Perth.
That's right.
So
there is a window.
Sorry, Claire, I will apologise to you actually because Amy, as the producer,
you're gonna blame
should
Amy.
also make me do it. You know what I mean? Because she's in charge.
You can see through to
Yeah, but Shaun's got his
LED.
back turned.
I
to
know,
her.
but there's a way around that. He could sit on the other side and look.
Oh, but that's where he sits, on this side. So anyway, we'll leave that there. Ali.
That is weird, Natalie.
Oh, no, it's
Hi.
just the women gang up.
Madness.
Oh, here we go.
Ganging
Thank you,
up
Nathan.
on you.
Thank you. Stay strong.
Ali, will you now explain your frustration? Talk to us.
I think we've had this a couple of times on air where I'm literally like, Shaun, this happens the same time every day.
Yeah, that's right.
For
It's not
the
a
past-
surprise.
How many years have you worked here?
12.
When are you gonna
Sorry,
face
sorry.
the problem? The two ladies in the
May
room.
I continue speaking? So basically, when I was interviewed for this job, one of the bosses said to me, part of it is you're going to have to learn how to
Rainbow Shaun.
pad
Yes.
when Shaun forgets a sport. So this leads me to believe this happened before me, well before
well, that
me.
suggests that you were warned at the outset, so you knew what you were getting into.
it doesn't matter.
You know what? Luckily, we've got Lexi, Maddie, and Helen up on the line. Our previous news
Please
director.
call in. We need backup.
So it's frustrating for you because
it's
you're a
incredible.
professional young lady. When you're
I've
in
actually
that boat.
decided the next time this happens, I'm just going to go silent. Dead it.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just going
great.
to be quiet until
Just
he comes
whistle or
in.
something.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll
Yep.
show the ladies.
Yep.
You haven't got them or me?
It's so weird, Shaun. She seems to be having a go at you because she feels like it's your...
No, he doesn't feel that.
The thing,
It's
Shaun,
never
Not
Shaun's
feeling
the
it.
thing,
fault.
Shaun, is
You
like
feeling it?
she feels like it's your responsibility to come in for your news report, but she doesn't realise there are people around that could get you ready. Like when Megan lays your clothes out each morning.
Thank you, Nathan. That's right.
Where are the women with their support, Shaun?
They seem to be hiding in the corner.
Oh,
Well,
Our producer,
one of the women has
Amy.
pointed out that Shaun's a grown man
Yeah.
and that he should
Yeah.
probably, I don't know,
Yeah.
get himself organised.
just a traffic report, by the way, everybody. Just be careful on the roads because Claire's rolled her eyes so much they're currently heading down Rockaby Road.
It's time to make up for missed holidays with whatif.com. Book spa suites, jet skis, maybe even a safari.
Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if it's Aussie for travel? Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
Co-workers can be annoying, can't they, Shaun?
Apparently.
Well, Ellie's furious with you because you don't turn up to read your sports report, particularly in the 6 a.m. news, and she has to pad.
Oh, look, I'm super busy in the morning, obviously.
So busy. He's a professional man with a professional job.
So we're talking about the things about your co-workers that drive you nuts because they keep on doing them. Wendy is in Marangaroo. Morning, Wendy.
Morning, how you going?
Great.
Hi, Wendy.
Talk to us.
So how long have you been working with this person for?
For 4 years.
4 years. All right,
And
what's
what are they
happening?
doing that's so annoying?
So we start work at 7:30.
Yeah.
She doesn't get in until 7:34, and then she makes the coffee, starts her computer up, and it's 7:45 before she even, sits down ready to work.
Wendy.
Yes. Wendy, I know that one.
7:34 is so hilariously specific that that's the time she turns up
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Just 4 minutes late.
Every single day.
Wendy,
Without doubt.
she's just a co-worker, so she's not above you, you're not above her?
No, just a co-worker.
Yeah, so you're looking at it as, I can get here on time. Why
Yes.
do you start work 15 minutes later than me and no one is calling you out for it?
Exactly. She's 21. I've got 4 kids at home, and I'm still there on time. Well,
No wonder
early
you want to
every
get
day.
out of the house in the morning. Yes.
I agree.
And her greatest crime is she's 21.
Yes, that's true. And Wendy's doing 15 minutes of work a day more than
Extra.
her.
And then you've been 21, then you know she'd be on the TikTok for half an hour, at least,
I agree.
on the TikToks.
We feel your frustration, Wendy. Thank you. Jody's in South Lake. Hello.
Hi guys, how you going?
Good,
Okay,
Jody.
Jody. The rest of the team's sort of flailing about at the moment with fury. So how long have you been working with this person for, Jody?
I've been working with this person for 6 years.
Oh,
And
what do
what-
they do?
I forget my name
Oh, Jody,
Jody.
What are
yeah.
you talking about?
every week. They forget my name.
So, but
So they come in.
Jody, how hard is it?
We can remember it.
Oh, that's great! Thank you so much.
So what happens?
Yeah, so I work in a primary school,
Yes.
and I see her class once a week.
Yes.
And she comes in, I address the children, and as they're about to leave, they always say thank you. So, and that sort of is driven by the teacher. So the teacher goes, okay, their class, and now say thank you to, and she just pauses.
And you got to jump
She's
in.
got no idea. No, the kids remember my name, thank
Right.
goodness.
That is...
But yeah, so the
Yeah.
kids just finish the sentence.
You know
Yeah.
what, though?
Every week.
You know
And I'm
what,
like,
though?
You worked with me for 6 years.
Yes.
Some people just don't register. Like, I think it's a genetic thing. Some people just don't register other people's existence. And I think that this
And that's
is
on
what's-
you, Jody, for
No,
being a
it's
bit
not on
forgettable.
you. I just think, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can meet
But, like,
someone again and again and
If
again.
you are that person, though, you would
a pneumatic device
write
or
it down
something.
or figure out a way
Yep.
because if it's happening at the same
Oh,
time
yes.
every week, it's
would think-
expected.
You know what it is with
Yes,
Jody?
you
If
would.
I was finding it hard to remember Jody's name, I would every time I think of her, I'd think a Jodie Foster film,
Sure.
like in a Panic Room. And
Yes.
every time I look, I go Panic Room. Why am I saying
Yes.
Panic Room? Oh, Jodie Foster's in Panic Room.
Yes.
But then I'd end up calling her Kristen Stewart.
Yeah. Easy mistake to make. Jody, we can't help you,
Oh,
but good luck.
that was-
I hope you got that frustration off your
Good
chest.
luck, Janelle.
Stop it.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're talking about what your coworker repeatedly does that annoys the bejesus out of you.
Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
Hey,
How
Laurie.
you going, guys?
We're
Excellent,
okay.
we're
I mean,
great.
like, it's not the best atmosphere in here this morning.
Because of Shaun.
Sean's started this whole thing, right? Sean started
Yes.
this whole thing this morning, and now he's removed himself from the
did hear
situation.
that.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's really aimed towards me. Do
you
you?
know, it should be.
Yeah, I did hear earlier in a bit of a bind, stretching it out there,
Yes.
waiting for Shaun.
I know.
Nice, sweetheart.
She should be used to it by now because it happens so often. Laurie, which co-worker are we talking about? Don't name them, but how long have you worked with them?
Just over 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah,
what's
what's going
happening?
on, Laurie?
Well, possibly she spends around 8 minutes every time she goes to the loo a day, which is in the shop. She doesn't, it's like, from a desk to the loo about 20 steps.
Yes.
And she probably goes half a dozen times a day and spends about 8 minutes every time, whereas my
So that's 48 minutes.
Yeah, my other co-worker and I probably spend about 10 minutes in total in the loo a day. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating.
I love that. Do you start a stopwatch the moment she leaves that desk and heads for the loo? Is that how do you know it's 8
we're all
minutes?
sort of it's very easy to tell in the workplace we're in. Yeah, because of what we do. Yeah.
Is she taking her phone? Is she taking her phone in with her?
No. We know she doesn't take a phone because we can view it on the desk.
Okay.
What is she doing?
No idea.
Maybe she's got IVS.
She could have IVS.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know.
It's not wide.
No, that is a possibility.
Yeah, so maybe it's that, or
maybe she just hates her co-workers and needs some time out.
Just needs some time out. That's probably it, Laurie.
48 minutes in the toilet a day.
I need a break from these two.
Who's got the time for 48 hours in the toilet?
48 minutes.
You're so red raw. You would be. I tell you that many times.
For the
Thanks,
curry,
Laurie. Michelle's in Cardinia. Hello.
Hi, how you going?
All right, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Talk to us. How long have you worked with this person?
They don't work there anymore, thank God.
Okay.
But it was about 5 years. A couple of annoying things. The chewing with your mouth open is always annoying, but,
Yes.
I could get over that. But then he started cutting his fingernails and toenails at his desk. So he literally, put his foot up on his chair, cutting his toenails, cutting his fingernails.
This is in an office-like situation, Michelle, yes?
In an office, big office, government office.
So you're going to take your shoes off.
So he's taking his shoes and socks off and then cutting his toenails.
Can't believe
Yes, and fingernails. And we have to, swap desks sometimes. And, you can see all the little bits, in
his
keyboard.
keyboard.
Nails, flicking everywhere. I'm not sitting there. That's disgusting.
Okay, so in our workplace, I know that we're all very direct here. Not Natalie and I. We very subtle man and woman, but Shaun and that just cutthroat. Someone would say something straight away if someone was taking their shoes and socks off and cutting toenails. Did anyone confront him at all during this time?
Yes, I confronted him as well. He doesn't care. He sits there watching movies as well. And
It's a government job, did you say?
Yeah, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, mate. You can't be bored already. I have said something, but he's not that type of guy. Okay, whatever.
He didn't care. Well, he's got. Watches movies because he's got to do something while his nails grow again.
Oh my God!
Not doing any work.
Thanks, Michelle.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
Just went to spend some time with the people at the Morley Galleria yesterday.
You're loving the Galleria.
You're a man of the
really
people,
are.
Nathan.
I'm a man of the people.
Can I ask you?
Well, you fit right in.
Thank you.
Obviously, Brian's home ground was Karen Up, and you've been partial to going to Karen Up because
I love Karen Up. Karen Up is it's an event now though.
Well, yeah,
going there, you have to put on your best clothes.
That's right.
So now you don't
have to do that at Galleria, do you?
You've really morphed to Galleria, haven't you?
Galleria's just down the road.
Yeah, sure. It's your local.
And it's just like people don't judge. I don't judge them. We're just there. We're just there shopping. We're just there shopping.
Are you?
Sean.
Okay.
And then we leave. All right. Well, not all together.
You're the people. You and the people.
Me and all the people as a group leave. I was driving home and then I was driving along Coode Street and there was this little park there, a little grassed area there. And there was this dude wearing all the tie-dye. All at once.
Excellent. In case you're looking for some.
Yeah, and he was on his phone. And, he was just having a walk. And then he went to go and sit down. Those copper logs?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So he went to go and sit down on the copper log. And it seemed to have, the copper log seemed to have made of rubber because as soon as his arse hit it, he bounced and fell backwards.
And so he's still on his phone at this point. Yeah, so he wasn't really paying attention.
Anyway, so there was me and two other cars and everyone just starts beeping, so I jumped in.
It's so simple.
And
It gives you
also,
such
as
joy.
you can see, because one of the cars was turning, you could see the shame on the guy's face. And I thought I was part of
But he brought so much joy to so many
creating that
people.
shame. But you know what? It's nothing's worse when people. Oh, there's a few things worse. But when people start beeping at you. Because, if you're in your car, you're like, what the hell's happening?
Yes,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're on the street, how embarrassing everyone's looking at me.
Super embarrassing. But how much joy does something like that, if you see it, which you did,
well, Nathan loves
gives
laughing
you?
at people that fall over.
I do.
It's one of his hobbies.
I remember this so clearly. My mate Danny, he got a new bike, right, and it was one of those bikes where you got to have the shoes on, so you got the cleats.
Oh yes,
and you got to click yourself into the pedals.
Yes.
And he'd only recently have it, so he goes off for a good bike ride, and he's going down Leach Highway, and I think he was heading towards Fremantle, going to ride Fremantle, but he ends up anyway having to stop at the lights at North Lake Road and Fremantle. There's big Toyota, Bunnings is on one corner, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So in between the lights, he's just trying to dance on his pedals and stay afloat. But it went for too long.
And he lost momentum.
He got no momentum. And all he did just go
slowly went sideways.
And you can't get yourself out of those shoes.
You can't. Like, you just got it. But it's an unusual action. You've got to kind of push your foot sideways. Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone started beeping at him.
Oh, they were going off. Funniest thing of all time.
And there's 3 lanes of traffic there, plus a couple of turning lanes.
That's too many cars.
There's a lot of people around there.
It's actually a massive intersection.
Oh. You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Sometimes in life you do something that results in a bunch of people beeping at you out of appreciation for the vision you've provided for them.
And although it's fun for them to beep at you, like it was for me beeping at the guy who fell off the copper pole while talking on his phone yesterday, for that person it's shameful and it's embarrassing.
Sure. Curtis is in Camillo. Hello.
Hi guys, how you going?
Hey, good, Curtis.
Why did people beep at you?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to sell the old newspaper in the city and walking up and down at the traffic lights, as you do, and I'm walking down looking at the cars, not really paying attention, and walked straight into a pole and landed on my ass.
Curtis, how embarrassing.
So cars everywhere were appreciating you with their horns?
Well, the lights were red, so I kind of just had to stand there and be shameful for quite a while till they turned green. So
Yeah. Were people receptive of buying papers
back in the day?
Their cars back in the day?
Well, 80 cents a paper back then when I was selling them. So,
so 80 cents.
Basically free, weren't
Curtis,
they?
what was your hourly rate?
No, there wasn't an hourly rate. It was just whatever you made.
Percentage of what you sold?
Yeah, it was a percentage of what you sold. So,
what would you walk away with on a day that you were selling papers?
Mate, I go to Macca's afterwards for a McChicken, and that'll be about
blow the light.
So McChicken's your burger of choice from McDonald's still? Or
it is, mate, yeah.
Mine too. No one appreciates it in McChicken.
I don't.
I'll always get a slice of cheese on there too to make sure that it's fresh. Have you ever incorporated cheese on your McChicken, Curtis?
No, I've never done that, mate. Don't try it with cheese, just original.
Okay, so your theory is that then it's not just sitting, they'll have to make it special.
You need a fresh McChicken because after about 5 minutes it turns into a hockey puck.
Good on you, Curtis. Thanks, buddy. Matt's in Maddington. Hello.
Hey, guys. How are we?
Hey, good,
buddy. Why did you elicit a whole lot of beeping?
Well, it wasn't me directly honking, but it was the cars next to me and across the road. So it was a bit of an odd scene. It was in Northbridge on Newcastle Street. I was sitting at the set of lights, and a guy came jogging up to the set of lights and was doing sort of that little fairy hop that they do while trying to keep their heart rate up.
Yes, because God forbid they stand still for a second, yes.
I know, it killed their heart rate. But he was carrying a cake. So he was obviously in a bit of a rush. And the fairy pretty much, as he took 2 steps over the road, he went face planting. His cake went absolutely everywhere, and it was like one of your YouTube videos where people play pranks, and the look of absolute horror on his face. I burst out, like, in a video, uncontrollably cracked up laughing. The car next to me is honking. Car across the road's honking and laughing. He's sort of out there like a dumb mullet in the middle of the road while all the cars are around looking at him, and it's on Newcastle and William Street. Pretty busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are sort of stepping over around him, and he's trying to scoop up his cake back onto his plate.
He's gone. There's no point scooping it up at that point. You can't put that back in the box.
This is when in life you see something that happens and you want to do a follow-up interview. What was the cake for, sir?
Yes, exactly. How much trouble are you in now?
Oh, that's great.
Matt, what an amazing thing to witness. I'm so jealous.
That's so good.
Thanks, Matt. Elma's in Kingsway. Hello.
Hello there. Good morning.
Elma.
Hi, Elma.
All right, so what
Hello
happened?
there. Well, being a woman, like, I need to do 3 things at once. Like, I'm time concept, And so I decided that I would go do my half-hour exercise,
Yes.
whiten my teeth at the same time and get a suntan. I put on my best strapless top, and I had bleach in my teeth with the whitening thing that you stick in the whole big,
Mouth guard. It's on the mouth guard?
Yeah.
And I started to, one of those with the blue light.
With the light on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I started going up a hill on my bike, but I forgot that I had to breathe at the same time. So the bleach is now flying out of my mouth onto my nice strapless top that I was getting my suntan with. And I was like Beethoven the dog, so I was going as I was going up the hill. So the slobber's flying out of my mouth. There was car after car coming after me. And nobody stopped to resuscitate me, though. But anyway, I got home. I got back and ticked the box. I've done my 30 minutes exercise on the bike. I got my suntan for the day, and my teeth were white, but my top was ruined.
Well, you ticked 3 boxes there, Alma.
Yeah,
No one would
all done,
resuscitate
but
me.
I just never done it again. I couldn't breathe.
No,
Couldn't
and
breathe.
breathing's important.
No.
Oh my gosh! But the Beethoven dog movie.
Yeah, with all the
big
slobber,
slobbery
yeah.
dog.
Slobber going everywhere.
That was what I looked like. Honest to
well,
God.
that-
Anyway, not to worry.
No,
Not to worry.
why would you worry?
You're a joy, Elma. Thank you.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Oh, we're joined by Perth Glory CEO Tony Pignata, and the Glory, like the Perth Wildcats, they've had a tough run so far this season. Tony joins us now. G'day, Tony.
Guys,
Hello, Tony.
Tony, we've just been tracking, obviously, yourselves and the Perth, as I said, the Perth Wildcats in particular, playing all of your games so far this year. Other than the first game of the season over on the East Coast, it must be bloody hard for you guys.
Yeah, it's been tough both for our men and women, and our women have their last game on Friday night in Wollongong, and they've been on the road since sort of sometime in December, as the men have, albeit they came home for a week. But yeah, it's been tough, but nearly at the end. We'll be home on Thursday, so we're looking forward to that.
So one of those things, I know you don't ever concede, but do you have to write off the first half of the year, given the circumstances you're confronted with?
You don't probably write off. It's just, it's been difficult, but, we're trying to get as many points as we can. We know we've got another game tonight against Melbourne City in Melbourne, and then we come home, we've got a game on Sunday. So, look, every game is important, and, we want to take as many points on the road as we can, and then we have some home games, which will be great.
I mean, it is awesome that you're finally going to be able to play some games at home, but then obviously there's a cap on how many people can go. That must be difficult to deal with as well.
Yeah, look, our first game we sold out. We had nearly sort of 18,000 people. But so it's going to be hard. We're hoping for a big crowd, but we'll have to fill it at 10,000, and so be it, and get as close as that as we can. And it'll be fantastic just to play in front of our home fans and members.
Can you not do like a reverse special? They do 2 for 1. You do, 1 for 2. Where you
at half time.
One ticket for double the price.
Yeah, that's
just
a good
like
idea.
help you guys.
At half time, everybody out and the next
like
lot
a
come in.
matinee and
Yes.
what do you think?
Just like a restaurant, double city.
Maybe we need to look at things in a different way.
Yeah, that's
Gee,
right.
I hope they'd score in the first half, otherwise you'd be
Well, no, but then you make like a blind guarantee or guaranteed scoring in the first half. But why not? And then put the pressure on the players.
Yeah.
Look, mate, it's on the menu.
Yeah.
Well, one of the
Exactly.
things,
Yes.
Well, one of the things the Paul Glory have had to deal with, Nathan, with the scoring is that a couple of the star players, being Andy Keogh and Daniel Sturridge, being out injured. That has been a real kick to the team as well, Tony.
Yeah, been disappointing. I know Daniel was sort of getting right back into a bit of fitness, and then he got COVID, played some minutes, and then got injured again in Launceston. So, a bit disappointing, but he'll bounce back. It's only a 3-week injury, so it's nothing too major. And we're hoping to have him in, around March sometime. And Andy's just got a bit of tightness. It's not too bad, but we just need to rest him. And games are coming thick and fast, so we don't want to push players at the moment.
Yeah. So, as a CEO, how involved are you in the players' lives? Like, I remember all of us were quite concerned when Daniel Sturridge was looking for someone to do a fade on his hair. And it was all over Instagram. Everyone was talking about it, like pray for Daniel's hair.
Yeah.
Do you know how he's gone with his search for the perfect fade and whether he actually, achieved it?
I think he did actually.
Great.
Yeah, he went out and he got a lot of comments, he's found his barber in Perth and he's happy
Thank
with
goodness.
it. And that saves me a lot of hassle as well.
Well, Tony, it's easy to say it's good to have him have the barber here in Perth, but you've been on the road for 9 weeks.
What did he do?
No, jeez.
I think he's found one in every city. So,
Okay. Yep.
Thank goodness.
It's great. Well, it hasn't bothered me about that one. So
Okay.
I mean, because I'm wondering if you're going to put on the books of Team Fader.
Yeah, that's right. That travels with you.
Yeah, I mean...
Had you considered that?
And is that
Because I feel like the fade is sort of very glory, you know what I mean? It's very, like linked to that sport. A Team Fader, perhaps on the cards?
That's not a bad idea. We'll get rid of the chef and put it to
Priorities, Tony. Come on.
Tony, can I talk about when you brought LA Galaxy with David Beckham out to Australia? Did you have much to do with David Beckham?
Well, actually, it's funny. I wasn't at Sydney FC at the time. I was in Wellington, and I brought David Beckham to Wellington. And no, I did have a bit of time. We had organised some charity sort of promos for him, and I mean, he's just fantastic.
Is he?
He just did unbelievable, brilliant. He's a brilliant person, to be honest. I know he's a brand and people, but he was out of his way. We had a function after the game where our owner at the time, Teresitti Prisos, probably spent, I don't know, $300 or $400 He redid a whole warehouse, and David came and stayed the whole night and spoke to all the staff and fans and, people that were at the invite. He was just brilliant. Absolutely.
So is he David Beckham, or is he just like a really nice guy that doesn't take himself too seriously when you're speaking to him just one-on-one?
Yeah, look, you're probably right. He doesn't take himself seriously. He's a massive superstar in the world of football and celebrity as well. Yeah. But no, he doesn't take himself too seriously. I sat right across the aisle from him and on the flight from Sydney to Wellington, and honestly, all he did the whole flight was look at his family photos because he probably was missing them sometimes. So, that just, for me, just showed him what a type of person he is.
Sean does the same thing when he travels.
I do.
But he's juggling several secret families.
Has it been down in Launceston? Because you've decided to make Launceston the place for your home games?
Yeah, we weren't sure if we were ever going to come back, so we... did a deal with the Tasmanian government to play our home games. Launceston was fantastic. We were very well received. People were so friendly, and I've never been to Launceston before, and I loved it. It was a great place to visit, and I'm going to go back one day.
Yeah, there's some good restaurants and stuff. It's good food culture.
It is.
Lonnie.
It's good eateries. It's really a nice little vibe there, and we're in Melbourne, as I said. We're playing tonight, and then back to Perth tomorrow.
Well, fantastic. Well, you know what? Anyone that wants to become the official Perth Glory Team Fader, please put your resumes into CEO Tony Pignata. Pignata. Grab a stick, hit him until lollies come out.
Pignata. Tony, we know you're busy. We wish you all the best for tonight's game because 3 points tonight would be fantastic heading home, and hopefully all the Perth Glory, well, I know they will, Perth Glory fans get behind you when you come back, and it'll be good to see the Glory
only
play.
half of them.
Well, hopefully you can spend some time in WA and see your families for once.
Yeah, can't wait, and looking forward to a big crowd on Sunday as we play Adelaide at 4:05.
Nice work.
Good on you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Bye, Tony.
Thanks, guys.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Just going to start with the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, and every time I see him come across Fox Sport, I'm talking boxing. He speaks so well. I like his accent. He provides the full entertainment for anybody, and it's got nothing to do with his sport.
Whenever you see him, it's like you're watching Tropic Thunder or some comedy. Like it doesn't look like it doesn't seem like a real person.
It doesn't.
And then he bursts into song, so it's a musical.
The funny thing is, he can actually really box. Anyway, he's got all the titles in the world. He's fought back from depression and drug addiction and all the like, and he's a real positive dude. Well, he's got a fight coming up in April against a guy called Dylan White, and Dylan hasn't fought anyone of big note over recent times, but he has complained, Dylan, about he believes he should be getting more money. Now, I think the fight is worth, say $20 million, that kind of thing, and Dylan's down to earn 20% of the overall pot. Now, that can, get bigger, obviously, pay-per-view and all the rest of it. He's not happy with that, Dylan, so he did not turn up to the press conference yesterday.
Oh.
So, Tyson Fury, he wasn't happy.
He should be here today kissing my feet and washing my feet, because I'm giving him 32 times his biggest payday that he'll ever get in his life. His only payday that he'll ever get in his life. I don't know about unfortunate. He's very lucky that he's in my era. He's very lucky to be receiving this amount of money. The man's only thing he's ever won's a British title, Frank. If I can't look like Muhammad Ali boxing this guy, then I'm in the wrong position and I'm not as good as I think I am. I will chop him to bits. Not a problem. I will smash his face right in. You're going to see a boxing masterclass. You're going to see the difference in levels. You're going to see the Ferrari racing the Vauxhall Corsa in a race.
You know what he sounds like? It sounds like when your dad gets drunk and starts talking about how good he is and things that he can do.
Yes.
How old is Tyson?
I think he's 30, mid-30s.
He sounds like an
old as he looks.
82-year-old man that runs an English pub down the corner of your
Oh,
local
yeah.
club.
For sure.
Yes.
It's so strange.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a great athlete. And when you see him in the ring, he doesn't look like the fittest guy going around.
No, he doesn't.
And but he performs
But he
and
can punch,
does. Yeah, he
as it
certainly
turns
can. So always interesting to see what he has to say.
love
The
the
other
Gypsy
thing is,
King.
I've been following, waiting to hear from the AFL. All clubs have the ability this year to have 20 extra players on their list going forward.
Oh.
Yes.
If there's a COVID outbreak, you've got to play all your players that you've got available. So at the West Coast Eagles at the moment, they're in all shorts.
Yes.
But then they can use players from the local competition, which is our waffle, obviously. Will get the opportunity to play in the AFL this season.
Which would be an amazing opportunity for those players.
Yeah, because a lot of times for people, they just don't, they get overlooked because some clubs might think, I don't know, he's a bit slower than what he should be, or he's he doesn't kick the ball as well as what some other guys
but
may.
then luckily, I mean, you know, for their career, like half the team could get COVID.
That's right.
And then it's
That's
like
your big
it's
break.
like when you're cooking and you can't be bothered going to the shop and you just go, oh, what's in the pantry? Oh, that'll do.
And you
and all
make
of a sudden
something
that shines,
amazing.
Nathan.
Yeah, we'll
That
use the tawny port. Let's see what we can do
yeah,
with this.
yeah, exactly. And then you never go back, do you?
That's
You're
right.
like, oh, Tawny Port.
Tawny Port for life.
Tawny port's always going to go on your casserole then. Wouldn't. Would it? You wouldn't put tawny port in a casserole.
Would you
would
now?
No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't make a casserole.
I wouldn't make a casserole. I've never made a casserole. Have you?
It's too close to
I
a
feel
stew.
like it's too, and that
Which
just
is a
reminded
cousin
us-
of a Mornay, and we all know how we feel about a Mornay.
I feel we might have strayed from the sports segment.
Do you think?
Yeah, but I don't like a stew.
I don't
no,
like
me
a
either.
stew.
No, hate it.
Good luck to all those guys who have got train on gigs at the moment for both Fremantle and West Coast, and let's hope they
Wasn't there some
make
chatter
their
that the
debut.
waffle clubs weren't happy about it and
Of
weren't
course,
going to
they're
release
losing
them?
some of their best players
Yeah.
out of the competition. Dilutes it, obviously, at this point in time, but hopefully...
It's so good for those individual players that why would you deny them that right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
An
absolutely.
opportunity.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Obviously, we've been watching what's been going on in the Ukraine and the conflict with Russia. And this morning, much earlier this morning, we got the opportunity to catch up with Channel 7 legend, journalist Geoff Parry. Let's have a listen.
Guys, how you going?
Oh,
Very
good.
well.
We've
We're
been
going well.
watching you on the news and we've been discussing if we were asked to go somewhere like the Ukraine during this time, what our reaction would be, and we wouldn't go.
Hard pass.
It's amazing what you're standing amongst. First, before we get into what's happening over there at the moment, just as a journalist, what is that like, going somewhere where it's so dangerous and so unpredictable?
Well, I'm a bit used to it because I've been sort of doing this stuff for so long, 35 years. But every job is the same, of course. Sorry, different, of course. But it's something that I like to do, and it's something I find interesting, and it's sort of top level. They're top shelf stories, and I like getting into them. So after time, everything's history, isn't it? But these are just such big issues. A war like this on the continent, on the European continent, nothing like that since World War II, and the consequences, not just for Ukraine but for the rest of the world, are pretty plain for all to see. You've got a guy whose mental stability is under question, who's got his finger on the button and threatening to use it.
Jeff, from what we've seen, the Ukrainian people seem like unbelievably resilient characters. Like, we're hearing extraordinary stories of, civilians saying, yep, I'll go and fight, and, defending their country with their lives. What is the vibe like in Lviv, where there are a lot of people who are fleeing for their lives as well?
Well, the stoicism of the people is just remarkable. They are, like super sort of nationalistic. They're Ukrainian. They don't want to be Russian. They have been in the past, or certainly they've been under the Russian control. But these people are Ukrainian. They've got a history that goes back for centuries.
Yeah.
and they want their freedom. I mean, not everyone wants to stand and fight, and everyone they have their own reasons for doing things. So the way that the Ukrainians have sort of put up with this Russian advance is just, gobsmacking, I think. Not everyone thought that they had it in them, but they certainly do. Their problem at the moment is that, he's getting resupplied and they're simply just up against a much bigger machine. So it's something that they won't win, but it's just heartening to see what they're doing. For the others, I mean, they're predicting something like, 7 million Ukrainians. They've got a population of 45. Yeah. So they're thinking 5 to 7 million Ukrainians are going to be dislocated and fleeing the Russians and sort of, crossing those borders in Romania and Hungary, particularly Poland. Yeah. Most of them going there. There are for some reason, because, they can't get down to those easier checkpoints, if you like. Most people, 50% of them seem to be going through Poland, and that's causing massive log jams. Some people down there are waiting 35, 36 hours just to get across the border.
Wow.
The cars, the cars, a lot of them are abandoned now, but, like 10 Ks long, and it's, most people just abandon them and walk because it's simply quicker and easier. So, it's not an easy thing to do, to leave your country, both emotionally and in this case, physically, just to leave everything behind.
Now, we all know that Putin is like a schoolyard bully that's not getting his own way. Okay. And usually, a lot of the times their bark is worse than their bite. But this nuclear threat that we've got at the moment, how real is that to you while you're there?
Well, I mean, who knows what he's going to do? As I said, I mean, his thought processes are questionable. I go back, I mean, I'm old enough to remember the Cold War, and people lived under since the end of World War II, 1945, until the wall came down. I mean, people lived with that constantly. So this is this regenerates that uncertainty, I mean, I think no one knows what he's going to do, but I can tell you what he is doing, and that he's now just pushed the go button more and more because the Ukrainians have stood up to him. They've slowed his advance, so he's now just throwing everything at it. Yeah. And the thing to watch is this column of troops and tanks and military equipment that are coming down from the north, ostensibly to surround Kyiv. A 65-kilometre long, military machine that they're just gonna push into Kyiv, and what they're doing in Kharkiv, which is the second biggest city in Ukraine, which is to the east, they're pounding civilian areas now, and women are dying, children are dying, men are dying, but like particularly children, just innocent victims, and this is what he's doing. He's just unleashed. He's just unleashed his military machine to go and just smash that city into the ground, and then he's going to turn his attention to Kyiv.
Geoff, the thing is, you said it's it's inevitable, the weight of numbers and the military might that's going to take over Ukraine. What's then the purpose of it? Does Ukraine...
Why resist? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's... once he's got control over, what does he do then? And what happens to the people? Are they under the Russian banner from there on in? Does Ukraine cease to exist as their own nation?
Well, pretty much. Unless they come up with this, there's one plan that they have some sort of neutrality where they exist, but they've basically got to pay homage to Moscow. He's trying to sort of put the old Soviet Union back together. Yeah. And it's not quite sure how much territory he's going to grab. He might grab half of it now and set something up and, maybe go for the rest of it in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, or he goes the whole hog. Once he's finished with Kyiv, he turns west, or his troops turn west, and they start rolling up all the cities, including Lviv, which is a lovely city, by the way, but it's also preparing. We've been out with people making Molotov cocktails, thousands of them, who themselves are lining up at various places to be handed guns. So they then sort of become citizen soldiers, and then he pushes through to the Polish border, and maybe stops there, and then for the next so often he terrorises those small nations that used to be part of the Soviet Union, but have gone west, and he just, so where do you stop him and where does it stop?
One thing we've noticed is that there doesn't seem to be an influx of Air Force, Russian air raids or anything like that. So why is that? Because they've got so many fighter jets.
Yeah.
Is there any reasoning that you know of why that wave hasn't come yet, or why it's not being used?
Well, the Ukrainians have been equipping themselves for the last 10 years, or the last 8 years particularly, and they're being supplied by the Americans and the Brits and various other EU countries. And so they've got a decent air force, and they've got pilots with guts who'll get up there, and they've got anti-aircraft systems, and on the ground they've got tank systems. They've got heaps of kit. And now the other countries, even though they won't put boots on the ground here, they're now sending in more of those anti-aircraft weapons, the anti-tank weapons, the radar systems that they need to spot the jets. So I mean, it's not an easy. It hasn't been a cakewalk for the Air Force. But then there's reports that Ukrainian pilots are going to Europe and picking up jets that have been donated by the NATO countries, flying them back, and going sort of straight into combat. So. I'm not a military expert, and I don't know, why they haven't used the force of their greater numerical numbers in the Air Force. But
I was actually referring to Russia, like to the fact that the Russian.
No, it's because they're well equipped with anti-aircraft missiles and things.
But still, because they've got anti-tank things as well. But the tanks are all rolling in.
I'm with you. I
don't get it. That's a wave they're waiting.
They could decimate it in a heartbeat.
Jeff, what's the vibe? You mentioned a little bit there, the fact that NATO countries and Australia's offered some money and weapons as well, but the fact that nobody is helping them out practically with, boots on the ground. How do the Ukrainians feel about that?
Well, they're appealing for help. They wanted to be part of NATO. They wanted to be part of NATO, and they hadn't got around to getting them into NATO. If they had been, NATO would have automatically sprung to their defence with military hardware and soldiers as well. But they're not, and I think the rest NATO realises, and the European Union realised that if they put boots on the ground, that would just probably
World
be
War III.
Inflame it,
for World War III. So and possibly a nuclear strike. So
how isolating for them.
Well, they are, and they
hung
know
out to
they're
dry.
fighting a lone hand. They're fighting a lone hand, and their own military, their own civilians.
God, well, the world are watching. Well, the world are watching. The world are doing sanctions, but everyone is too frightened to come and help.
And
these
are people who a few weeks ago were living the same lives that we were.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah. Jeff, can I ask you how long you're going to be over there at this point in time? I mean, as we know, the wheels are in motion at the moment.
That's a good question. No, I'm hopefully going to stay in and just see this out for a while and see what happens. So. It's what I do, so it's probably better.
But you're doing it well, Jeff.
But the realities of being over there, Jeff, at the moment, this is just the minutiae of your day. Is everything still working? Is the economy still working? You still being able to go buy food? Where
is there a buffet breakfast at the hotel?
Yeah, like how is that happening?
Well, if you're in you've got real problems if you're in Kyiv at the moment and some of those other places to the east, because the shops they can't get resupplied, so but it's more than a rush on toilet paper. So everything is in short supply. Plus, they're in bunkers; they can't get out very often because there's a curfew.
Yep.
So when they can get up to try and resupply, if there's anything left in the shops, they're in sitting in or standing in massive lines.
Yeah.
There are shortages down this way and across the country generally because of that resupply issue.
Yeah.
Getting stuff in from Poland, and there's only a trickle of traffic coming in. So it'll develop into people struggling to get food. But once the war reaches here and other places, it'll be very, very difficult.
Imagine a war going on and then you're going, I have to go and get groceries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although, to be
absolutely.
fair, we've struggled to get groceries in the last few weeks too.
Yeah, I get that, but
Yeah.
COVID's hasn't got a
No.
gun and shooting us
No.
like shooting at us.
No.
It's just the realities of what's going on out there.
Yeah,
It's just
extraordinary.
heartbreaking.
We really appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time this morning, Jeff. Thank you so much for
No
talking
worries,
to us.
guys.
Stay
Thanks,
safe, hey?
Yeah, will do. Great to chat.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.